You're now listening to All Hog Sports, covering all Arkansas Razorback sports, such as football, basketball, baseball, and much more. Now, here's your host for today's show, Sam Stimson.
In their first game in the 2022 College World Series, in the first double elimination round game, the Arkansas Razorbacks put up an incredible performance. Now I'm here in Omaha, Nebraska, so apologies if we have any production issues, recording issues, quality issues like that. We're kind of on the road with a little bit different of a setup, so I apologize for any inconvenience there. But anyway, starting it off with Arkansas's first game against Stanford. The Hogs absolutely raked. Set an NCAA record for College World Series hits with 21. Arkansas won 17-2, and it was just an incredible day at the plate for Arkansas. It started off early with Braden Webb scoring a triple on a hit to right field, and then Brady Slavens got him in on a sacrifice fly. Stanford responded early, though, with a home run to left field, and then Chris Lanzilli in the fifth got a home run to left with two base runners on. Alex Williams, the pitcher for Stanford, still on at the time in the fifth, and then started to wear out after that. Rob Moore then later scored on a wild pitch, and then Zach Gregory had a single to center, Stovall scoring, and then the seventh, Battles singled for Moore to score, and then the seventh, eighth, ninth, Arkansas put up a single of 9 total runs from that point on. It was going into the seventh inning at 6-1, and Arkansas won the game 17-2. The guys at the plate with a huge day. Shout out to Rob Moore, though. He was 2 for 3 at the plate with 3 walks. If Arkansas can get this kind of production out of a guy who's hit .230 on the season, I think they'll be very well set up for an NCAA College World Series. Just consistent hitting and possibly even a championship if everything goes right. Arkansas getting that type of production out of guys like Braden Webb too. Webb, he was 2 for 6 at the plate. Solid day for him. And then additionally, Arkansas had Brady Slavens 2 for 4 at the plate. Caden Wallace 3 out of 6 at the plate. Michael Turner 4 out of 6 from the plate. He had 2 singles in the first and third, another single in the sixth, and then he had an infield single to the pitcher in the ninth inning, just playing some small ball, getting some at-bats, and he didn't even finish the game, actually. At the end of it, Dylan Leach ended up closing off the final inning. Catching, it was obviously very hot, but he also got a nice pinch run score, Dylan Leach did. Robert Moore led the team with 3 runs, scoring on that wild pitch additionally, and the home run. Caden Wallace was 3 RBIs, Lanzilli with 3 RBIs after his tank. And Peyton Stovall continuing to impress. He had 4 RBIs and was 2 for 6. And what a day on the mound from Connor Noland. 7.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He had 79 pitches in 7.2 innings. He was absolutely fantastic on the mound and gave Arkansas a true advantage. And like I've said before, I truly believe Arkansas can beat any team in the nation with him on the mound. And I'm 100% serious when I say that. The type of production Arkansas has gotten out of their starting pitchers in the postseason, in the Super Regional, and so far in the NCAA tournament has set them up for massive success. Additionally, Cole Ramage came in to close the 8th, and then Vermillion coming in for the 9th. And what Noland really was able to do is trust a lot in his defense. He would just kind of throw strikes, and the defense would pick up off of that and make those plays in the infield. With Stovall at first, Moore at second, Battles at third, and then Wallace at fourth. Not fourth. Battles at shortstop, Wallace at third, my bad. Arkansas has a true, what I would call MLB type infield. These guys all make solid plays all around, and no one can throw strikes, knowing that they'll get a lot of ground outs into the infield. More with an incredible web gym at second yesterday. Battles getting some double plays turning at shortstop. Wallace making good throws from third, and then Stovall always picking up the read and can reach it even if it's not a perfect throw and still get his foot on the bag. He had a good play that was eventually reviewed, but still determined and out. Like I said, main thing for Nolan that he was so successful in is just throwing strikes, and 79 pitches thrown, 55 of those being strikes. He was able to really trust in his defense. And with this defense, Arkansas can win a championship. Defense does win you championships. That's a very true saying, especially when it comes to the postseason and making clutch plays. Main thing, recapping from this game, though, Arkansas winning 17-2. Not really much to get into. Kind of a little quicker recap than some other games this season. But main thing, recapping Arkansas, 21 hits, 17 runs. Was good to see guys like Kendall Diggs and Jace Beaufort get some at-bats. Vermillion, Ramage on the mound, some of Arkansas's pitchers that, like Vermillion, you haven't seen in a while. Main thing, though, recap, Arkansas, great day on the mound, great performance from Connor Noland. When he left the field at Charles Schwab, a huge standing ovation, well deserved, and he only threw 79 pitches, so there's a possibility that he could go Wednesday in the event that Arkansas does win on Monday. And then reaction, I feel really good and confident, obviously, after a 17-2 win, but you got to keep your heads leveled. And I know people have compared this to the NC State game last year in the Super Regionals where Arkansas won 21-2. And I'm not saying those are similar situations, different teams and such, but you got to keep a level head and remember that you still have to win 2 more games to get to the finals and then win 2 more to win it all. And this Arkansas team definitely has it in its capability to win it all. Now, Arkansas's next game is Monday, June 20th at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Obviously at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, Nebraska. Like I said, Arkansas won 17-2 against Stanford. However, the Ole Miss Rebels won 5-1 over Auburn on that same Saturday. Now, Ole Miss has been really effective in the postseason, especially at the plate, averaging 8.5 runs per game in the NCAA postseason so far. And if you look at the Rebels' record, when they score 6 or more runs, they really win a lot of their games when they're getting that run support from their lineup. Looking at some of the guys, though, hitting for them, Jacob Gonzalez, he's batting .274 with an on-base percentage of .414. He's got 45 RBIs on the season and 15 home runs. In the NCAA tournament, he's hitting a little bit higher at .292. He's got 4 RBIs in the 6 postseason games he's played. Tim Elko has done fantastic for Ole Miss in the postseason so far. He's got 20 home runs in the entire season, but in the postseason, he's batting .455. He's 10 for 22 at the plate with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Additionally, Justin Bench for Ole Miss batting .308, high on base percentage at .407 on the season. He's batting a little bit lower in NCAA tournament, but he's been racking in some RBIs. Additionally, for Ole Miss, on the bump, they should have Hunter Elliott. Now I'm going to talk about the Ole Miss lineup here in a little bit before I preview Hunter and what he was able to do in the postseason so far, which has been really incredible. And part of the reason Ole Miss has been so good is they've allowed 1 earned run, I think, in the entire postseason. 1, or it's either unearned or earned. I forgot what the statistic was. But anyway, this Ole Miss team is really heating up at the right time of the year. Their pitching has carried them, and their hitting has also done great at getting the run support. They've been mashing the ball. So at leadoff, obviously, Justin Bench, high on base percentage for them. Next up is Gonzalez at shortstop. Tim Elko batting third. He's the first baseman for this team. Graham at left field. Alderman, the DH. Hayden Dunhurst at center. Right field is Harris. Second baseman is Chattajanier. And closing off this lineup will be McCants. Like I said, a lot of heavy bats in this Ole Miss lineup. Justin Bench batting a 305 on the season. Tim Elko batting a 301. Alderman, the DH, batting 286. Jacob Gonzalez batting 277. And then a couple other guys for Ole Miss here. Hayden Dunhurst, the catcher, is batting 243, but he's got an incredible glove. And then Hayden Leatherwood is batting a 252 for them. They've really turned it on in the later half of the season. I mean, one of the last few in teams in the NCAA tournament, and they have really proved themselves to be there. Justin Bench, though, batting that 305 mark. Lots of big bats, 5 guys with double-digit home runs, one of those being Tim Elko with 22 now, with 2 in the postseason. Jacob Gonzalez with 17 home runs, Kevin Graham with 11, and then Kemp Alderman with 10, and Peyton Chadjanair with 11. TJ McCants has 11 stolen bases on the season. Now, the guy that is expected to be on the bump for Ole Miss is Hunter Elliott. Hunter Elliott is a freshman for Ole Miss. The left-handed pitcher has done incredible for Ole Miss this season. Team leader in ERA for qualifying guys with more innings, the higher innings pitched. He has a 2.82 ERA with a win-loss record of 4-3. He's got 92 strikeouts on the season. He's really been able to limit the opposing batting average to a low level of 202. Signing out of high school, he was known for his fastball. Fastball works around a 90 to 92. Signed out of Tupelo, Mississippi. In his last few appearances, though, he was really, really good. Only 1 earned run so far led up in the postseason. Against Southern Miss, he went over 7 innings. Did not give up a single earned run. That official stat line was 7.1 innings, 3 hits allowed, no earned runs. Against Miami, the number 1 seed in their super regional, he had 5 innings pitched with 3 hits allowed and 1 earned run. He had 5 walks in that one. However, against Southern Miss, he did not give up any walks, only 1 base runner out of 7.1 innings. The left-handed pitcher has done it all for Ole Miss and been a huge reason why they have won a lot of their Game 2s this season and have advanced. Like I said, Ole Miss has not lost a game in the postseason so far, and Elliott has closed the final games in the Miami regional and then also the final game within the Southern Miss regional. Again, Hunter Elliott, fantastic arm for Ole Miss. Looking out of the bullpen for Ole Miss, obviously, they'll end up seeing some guys out of the pen. Brandon Johnson has a 4.08 ERA, leads the team with 22 appearances and 39.2 innings pitched, being the closer for this team. 11 saves total on the year so far. He did not close against Auburn, so I'd expect him to see some, see some closing action if needed, if depending on their run lead and everything. Also, John Gaddis, he's got a 4.4 ERA. The Ole Miss bullpen has same thing as the starting pitching. It's turned it on later parts of the postseason and been effective in striking out batters and getting those fastballs blowing by guys, which they were able to do against Auburn and have kind of done all season long and been a huge part of their success. Main thing for Ole Miss, though, before I preview Arkansas side, very, very hot team, lots of momentum, have not lost in the postseason so far. The pitching staff has been fantastic, and the run support has been there with 8.5. Guys like Bench, Elko, and many more have gotten Ole Miss to Omaha this in the postseason so far and got them in this game against Arkansas on the winning side of the bracket. Now, Arkansas's postseason lineup has been extremely effective and really got guys scoring in running position. Batting off for the Razorbacks has been Braden Webb, batting .284 on the season with an on-base percentage of .423. He's really turned it up in his returning year. Brady Slavin's batting .263, but in the postseason he's been batting higher levels around .290. Next up would be Caden Wallace, batting around .380 in the postseason. Michael Turner batting .320 on the season with an on-base percentage of .387. 4 out of 6 in Arkansas's last game. He's really turned it on here in the postseason. Chris Lanzilli batting .324 with an on-base percentage of .429. Robert Moore batting .230 on the season. However, he was really effective in Arkansas's game in Omaha. 3 walks and then 2 for 3 from the plate, getting on base 5 out of 6 plate appearances. After that, Jalen Battles. Battles been effective all season, double-digit home runs on the season, getting runners batted in. And Peyton Stovall batting a little bit under 500 in the NCAA tournament so far. He's been really effective since his injury. And the next step would be Zach Gregory with a team-leading on-base percentage of .438. The main thing for this Arkansas lineup is we've kind of found a groove and haven't really changed it. These guys have all kind of, if this makes sense, got especially with the runners in scoring position, gotten guys scored. And if it's broke, don't fix it, obviously. Caden Wallace in the NCAA tournament batting .367 with a on-base percentage of .460. He has 5 home runs in the postseason with 12 RBIs. Michael Turner's 15 for 33 in the NCAA postseason, batting a .455 level with 2 home runs, a double, and double-digit RBIs. Braden Webb, leadoff guy, batting .303. Slavin's after him, batting .323 in the postseason. All these guys for Arkansas, like I said in my Stanford update, they're all batting higher than their averages from the normal season, and that's what you need in the postseason. You need guys to step up and give you that advantage going into the postseason. We know a lot about Arkansas's batters, and if what they can do against Stanford, make quality at-bats, wear down the opposing pitching, and be confident. This is a really solid Arkansas lineup that I think can go toe-and-toe with any pitching staff in the nation. Ole Miss has a lot of good, pitchers, especially with Hunter Elliott, but this Arkansas hitting group can definitely give him some problems. Main thing for Arkansas, though, runners in scoring position has been the thing this whole entire season. If we can get runners in scoring position with 2 outs and score them, the 2-out rallies have been effective all season, especially against Stanford. Now, for Arkansas starting pitching, we really don't know who's going to be starting pitching. Arkansas has a number of different guys they can go with. Now, Game 2 in the regional against Stillwater, Arkansas ended up starting Hagen Smith. Hagen Smith has kind of turned more into a closer almost, as he has 2 saves so far in the postseason after he was really good against Oklahoma State and then closed a game against UNC in the Chapel Hill Super Regional. However, I think Arkansas has a really quality guy in Will McIntyre. Will McIntyre started the second game against UNC and was really effective in that performance. Towards the end, he got subbed out. Also, Arkansas could go with a guy like Zach Morris, 1.89 ERA with 6 wins on the season, only 1 start. Arkansas, though, I do expect Will McIntyre to get the start, 2.81 ERA, 7 games started on the season. He's got a right-handed pitcher, a lot of stuff similar to Noland with the fastball sitting right there, right-handed pitcher, and lots of same type mechanics almost. I do expect Arkansas to go with Will McIntyre. However, Zach Morris coming out of the pen as a solid option. Brady Tigert, the closer, he's got 8 saves on the season. Has Hagen Smith as well. Arkansas has a number of different pitching options that they have. But if Arkansas can get McIntyre, Smith, whoever starts, Wiggins possibly even to at least the 4th or 5th. Then we have guys like Evan Taylor who can take over, Zach Morris, Brady Tigert, Cole Ramage could give you some innings. He was only pitched for 1 out. I like Arkansas's options, though, for guys who can make things happen at the plate. Now, my prediction for this game, I have Arkansas winning this one 3-2. Now, start off with the Arkansas bats. I think at the bat rack, it's not going to be a situation where against Stanford, especially in the later parts of the game, Arkansas was just, the guys were fighting to get at the bat rack. They couldn't wait to get their at-bats because of, how they were just hammering off those Stanford pitchers. I don't think it's going to be quite like that. I think Ole Miss has a lot better pitching, a lot more experienced pitching staff. I think Hunter Elliott will give Arkansas some problems, and it may take until the second and third until Arkansas can get hits and get on-base runners. I think Arkansas does score 3 runs, though. I think guys like Turner, Wallace, they've all been hitting incredible, and it's hard to stop a really hot offense like that. And for Ole Miss, I do have them scoring 2, and I definitely could see that number being higher. I could see this really possibly being like a 5-4 game, even higher possibly, just depending on how fast Hunter Elliott and Arkansas starter McIntyre possibly leave the game. Keys, though, for Arkansas to get this win is runners in scoring position. Keep your command out of your starters. Get at least 4 or 5 innings out of those before you turn over to Ramage, Tigert, Smith, Wiggins, anybody else who could possibly pitch. And then keys to Ole Miss for winning this game. Keep that heavy momentum they've had on the pitching side all season. It's going to be hard for Arkansas to score on a team that's only allowed 1 earned run all postseason. That is very hard to do, but I'm confident in Arkansas's bats and what they're going to be able to do. Now, I appreciate your guys' patience and understanding. I'm sorry for any inconvenience when it comes to the podcast, but I was glad to get one out. I'm releasing it now instead of at 5 a.m., so everyone can get a listen to this one before Arkansas's huge game against Ole Miss. But signing off for now, Woo Pig Suey.
That's all for today's episode of All Hog Sports with Sam Stimson. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode covering all Arkansas Razorback sports. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on social media too. On Twitter and Instagram at All Hog Sports Pod. Like on Facebook at All Hog Sports and Arkansas Razorbacks Podcast. And on YouTube at that same name. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Go Hogs!